All right. Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm lovely to see a nice group. And again, as always, there's nothing more enjoyable for me than hosting this podcast talking about our incredible company called Lifewave, which is a wearable technology. We love their patches. We're going to talk a little bit about them today, but particularly talking about how we can use safe products for our bodies and for our health. And that's what is so amazing about Lifewave. And I'm giddy with excitement about the conversation we're going to have today with a couple of new speakers today, or guest speakers. And if you don't know me and you're watching the recording, I'm Suzanne Roth-Paul, and I am a certified health coach, and I love talking about all kinds of wellness products, and I especially enjoy sharing great information about what you can do to live your best life safely and with integrity. And that's what is so incredible about LifeWave is it creates autonomy, it creates freedom, is that I never leave home without my patches, and it doesn't matter if I'm traveling overseas or I'm traveling to the grocery store. I always have these patches ready for any sort of situation that I may run across. And we're not going to be talking about the patches individually today as much. I'm not doing a product review on them. We are going to be talking about testimonies from the guest speakers today on their experiences. But I did want to mention that I have a podcast, Suzanne Roth-Paul Dash Phototherapy. And I do product reviews on all of our amazing products, all of our patches. And so I highly recommend that you go in and you check out my podcast, you watch some of the things that we might be talking about today, and you can go and listen to any particular patch product review. And I have a couple of really high visibility patches, and go find those with the highest views because those are the ones that you want to probably learn about first. The other thing is we're going to be talking about our new X20 water machine, and our guest will be sharing what it looks like. They're sitting in the room with it, and this is the amazing water machine that's transforming lives even more, and it's going to be supporting our cell health in ways that will catapult even the use of our current patches. We've got Kristen, Dowling, and her partner, business partner, and we're going to. I'll let them introduce themselves, and we'll go a little further into what they're going to be talking about. But I just wanted to mention one more thing before we get started. I have two things that I want to mention about what I'm going to be doing coming up soon, and I would love for you guys to know about it. And I put the links in the chat. I have a workshop coming up that's post summit. I just had a 20 speaker summit that I held with amazing professionals and experts talking about detoxing for longevity. And in the chat, I have the link to join as a VIP. If you still want to watch all the recordings, it's $27 and it's over $1,000 of gifts from all the speakers. And you get to watch all of these speakers and what they talk about and why we are in such a dire straits nowadays for detoxing daily and because of our environmental toxin situation. And then I also have in the link the workshop that I'm doing, which is post summit. It will be on May 16th, and it's going to be on a Saturday. So I'm hoping most of you guys that work full time can join us, and it's going to be from 2 to 4 p.m. And I'm going to be diving deep into what I use in my own kitchen and my own home for having a healthy kitchen that follows up with my Power in the Pantry ebooks. And we're going to go through and I'm going to do show and tell about all the foods I eat, how I eat, what I eat. And then I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite recipes. I'll make a few things as well. So it's going to be interactive and fun. And I hope you'll join. And as I said, the links are in the chat. And then with the recording, once I get this up on YouTube, all of the information will be in the show notes there. So if you missed anything today or don't catch it, you can get it when I post the recording. But Glen and Kristen are going to be sharing with us the amazing things that they've experienced with both the patches and the water machine. So welcome. I'm so happy to have you guys. We've been waiting to do this for a long time. So welcome.
Thank you, Suzanne.
You're welcome. And what I think it would be fun to talk a little bit about how you guys got started and if you both were brought into Lifewave at the same time. Is it coincidence? Did one of you bring the other in? How did that? Why don't you tell that story?
So the original story was that I got a call from a sweet friend from Santa Fe, our friend Alexana, and she said, "Glenzo, you need to check out these stem cell patches. And I go, well, I don't never, what is this about? You know, the whole thing.
She's a former nurse.
She's a former nurse. She's a friend of Jackie and I's, my wife. And
Mhm.
so Jackie and I said, well, sure, $100. Yeah, we'll try it.
And Glenn roped me in and said, hey, you got to try this.
And there
I
you
found this
go.
cool product.
And so we responded very quickly to them. So within 10 days, I had, you know, a major upgrade in a long-term frustrating injury that wasn't healing completely. It was my right quad that I completely tore, and I was bracing my knee to play hobbled pickleball doubles.
Uh-huh.
And I figured at the time, this was 8 years ago, I was 67 at the time. And I figured, okay, well, this is aging and this is okay. And, you know, this is after 2 long rounds of physical therapy, this is what I live with. And literally within a week, maybe 10 days, I'm noticing significantly less pain, especially going up and down hills and up and down stairs with that knee. And within a couple of weeks, my brace is coming off and I'm starting to run and squat. And I'm going, this is wild.
And weren't you using just the X39?
Just the X39.
Yes.
And then, and Jackie and I actually shared the envelope. So we each only had a couple of weeks. And within a couple of weeks, we signed up as diamonds at the time.
Wow.
Because this is, and we're both retired. I'm a retired mental health therapist and marriage and family counselor, and Jackie's a retired nurse practitioner.
Mhm.
And so we weren't looking for a business to get into at all, but we had such remarkable results that it was something that we couldn't not share with friends and family. Basically, it's like, oh, are you kidding? And so over time, we've seen many, many, many benefits that come on over time with the patches, as most people know. And we've gotten to use many of the patches. And we can certainly talk about some of those of our own testimonials or Jackie's testimonials or
Move on to present day. But I want to interject and
go ahead.
tell you, is that all right?
Yeah,
About
absolutely.
what my experience was getting in.
Right.
And so I've been involved just as long since we started the patches about the same time. And Glenn and Jackie happened to have a little bit more to talk about with the X39 in terms of how profoundly it affected them. But for me, it affected me in different ways since I was almost 50 at the time. And I started sleeping better immediately. And I had more energy, so that was cool. And various things started healing, and I have healing stories of other people who use them, of course. As you know, the patches are incredible in terms of how many things they can affect.
Right.
But as a former athlete, professional level athlete, World Cup skier, I have experienced amazing healing or avoidance of a knee replacement that was called for 5 years ago. And I've had 3 ACL reconstructions on one knee,
Wow.
and they've said I need a new knee for the past 5 years.
And you guys should see her playing pickleball because she looks like she's actually jumping moguls.
I was a mogul skier.
Oh
World
my
Cup was a
God, that's the
mogul
worst thing
skier.
for your knees too. But wow, good for you. Yeah.
Thank you. But it took a toll on me,
Yeah.
and I thought I would like roll off the hill in that wheelchair. Well, today I'm a competitive higher level senior pickleball player and coach, and I have avoided that knee replacement, which is so cool, using just the patches. So that's really
Wow.
exciting.
Oh my goodness. So you do have some ACL. Those are that require surgery, right?
Oh, those were 3 major surgeries.
On both knees or just one?
Both knees are bad, but it's just on one knee that I had those 3 surgeries. And that means an
Wow.
ACL is when your knee hyperextends. So it goes like this when it's supposed to be like this, right?
Yes.
So yeah, it's not great to walk around with an ACL that your knee is flopping around. You're breaking out below you when you take a step.
Did you do, I know that sounds painful listening to it. As a former skier myself, I didn't enjoy the aspects of the moguls and or just skiing and the toll it takes on your knees. So I did know, I mean, I was going to note that you actually, have had a lot of experience being a professional skier. I mean, you obviously were, it didn't say that you were professional, but you said you were on a ski team, right? You were on and was
Right.
that recently or was that when you were younger?
Oh, that was when I was younger. That
Okay.
was in my 20s.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
30 years ago.
All right.
30.
So you don't ski anymore.
Oh, I ski. I taught my kids how to ski, and I ski on occasion, but
Okay.
to ski at that level, you really
Right.
need to be fit.
Yeah,
So,
but to be able to use the patches, because we have quite a few people that have had knee issues and they've been required to do, obviously advised to get surgery, and they've been able to utilize the patches, the YH, the carnosine, glutathione, and Eon, and with doing collagen, collagen and vitamin C, and they've been able to stave off some of these surgeries, which is amazing, especially as the technology gets better and better. But you're great that you didn't have to proceed with doing any more surgeries.
so
And
far,
what were you applying on the knee? Any particular patch?
absolutely not. I use the X39 regularly, and then I use when I am on the pickleball court, when I'm doing stuff, I use the Eon and carnosine, and that
Mhm.
pretty much takes care of things, and I feel great the next day.
Well, that's the other thing. Pickleball is, the type of movement that you do with the knees and the shoulders, and we're getting so many elderly doing it, and then we're having all these accidents and incidences. So you probably have a captive audience with patching and taking them with you. So how's that been? Are you patching people on the spot when they're
Oh,
having?
it's amazing. We take patches to the pickleball courts and we put patches on people when they say, "Oh no, I've just hurt myself," or "I have some swelling or cramping." And yeah, they're amazing that way.
Never
Kristen
fear,
and
the
I,
patches are here. Yeah.
Kristen and I also play competitively once in a while. We enter tournaments and we travel, and um, so we made these shirts. If you can see
Yeah. Yeah.
The Lifewave insignia on the back, it says "Activate your stems. Ask me." And
Ah.
so we both have shirts and have gotten a lot of good conversation with that on the pickleball court.
And that generates
Self-promoting.
conversation everywhere we go, actually.
Yeah.
No, I think that's great. So how did you guys become partners again? What was that? I mean, obviously you entered Glenn, you introduced the patches to Kristen, but were y'all already doing business together at that point?
No, no, we were just friends playing pickleball together.
And
Oh,
good friends, and I have property in the same neighborhood, and we do organic gardening together.
oh,
So yeah,
what a
we've got a lot of
wonderful.
connections.
Oh, that's so great. And then we know as a community that we have with Lifewave, it's just it's such a beautiful community of people, and you really do get to know so many more with this company and the camaraderie, and then the fact that David Schmidt is, he's so committed to, you think about it, to our good health, but it was kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy for him was like, I don't want to age. So how can I help myself to not have to do this? And as a result, he created this amazing product for us. Now, I don't even have the patch on me. I was going to show it because it was one of the things that I did want to talk about here was what it looks like. It's a little disc. Do either of you have your patches on today?
You
I've got
Yeah, I can.
on the back. Yeah. Well, I wanted,
turn around
yeah, it's just,
and I'll
and so that's like the
can you
best.
sit down.
Oh,
Sit
there's your
down.
shirt.
Sit
There's
down.
your, there you go.
You gotta
Yeah.
tuck this
No,
in.
straight up. Yeah. So
Uh,
that's the location. I like your t-shirt. There you
so
go. There you go. That's the spot of a meridian point that's
okay.
really good for wearing on the neck and below the belly button with their conception vessel and there's a couple of different meridians that we use for governing vessel and the conception vessel, and you can rotate them and use them on those two locations, and they take care of the neck takes care of the upper body in terms of like the nervous system, your brain. There's a lot of things that it does for that. And then below the belly button is a lot of your organs, the lower extremities. And so are y'all also using the X49 where you wear that on your belly?
I actually put the X39 where it was and then the X49 right under it.
Oh, okay. So you're wearing it in the same location. All righty.
Not on top of each other, but right under it. Yeah.
And
Same
you
Kind of
can.
staggered. Just
And you can stack them too. I do that a lot in stacking them so that you don't have to always wear them on, just next to each other. And that's the beauty of the patches too. I tell people if you get an irritation on an area or you've worn them for a while in one area, you can always just move it over to the left or right, up or down. And speaking of, there's John Chang right there. He hasn't come on in a long time. You guys have brought in some interesting people for us today.
John.
Yeah, welcome,
Well,
John.
John is singularly responsible for us being successful and learning about the patches and getting oriented to the business. And he's been an amazing mentor for us.
Yeah, likewise. When I started with Lifewave as well, I remember calling and talking to him. Now, I happen to not be a one patch wonder with the X39. I was wearing it, but it wasn't really doing enough for my symptoms because I had a lot of inside job that needed to happen. And so I remember talking to John about 6 months in and saying that I'm still having a lot of chronic symptoms that I needed to resolve. And he stopped me and he said, "Well, what are you noticing so far?" And I said, "Well, and unfortunately not anything that's obvious." And he said, "Well, how's your hair?" And this was in 2021, and this was during COVID when you couldn't go get your hair cut. You remember that? You couldn't go to the salons, you couldn't do anything. Well, my hair was really long,
Hmm.
and normally it drives me crazy. I have to go get a haircut. I have to be really religious about it. I have big hair. And I said, "Well, why are you asking?" He says, "Well, because the X39 is supposed to do amazing things for your hair." And I said, "You know what? I have gone through an entire winter. My hair stayed blonde. It didn't turn mousy." And I said, "It's not bothering me." So it was a health of it that looked so good. And it was really interesting that was a noticeable thing. But then it took me like another 6 months of working with Nikki. That's when he turned me on to our patch queens and said, "You need to talk to the patch queens," which is Nikki and at the time Julian. Did you guys knew Julian as well?
Yes. Yes.
And so that's when I started really using all the patches. I had to go and use most of them and learn how to patch appropriately. And then that was really where I started, seeing things just happen right and left. So it is a pretty amazing product. I just want people listening, if you're listening to the recording, you're not familiar with the product. It can take a while for some of us, and then we have those one patch wonders. And the X39 can do it for so many people for sleep, energy. I think those are the two most is sleeping better and energy, and then obviously this level of calm. I get that a lot from people.
And pain relief for many
Yes,
people as
yes.
well.
And pain relief that doesn't even need to be put on the spot. It can just be on the neck or the belly and they get it. And I like using it on the lower extremities too, just in wherever it's needed. Okay, so you guys basically have had good experiences yourself with the patches. Now, Kristen, you guys want to talk about anything in particular? A client that's had the use of the patches for some particular condition that was symptom relief that was pretty impressive?
I actually love to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to mention this case of actually 3 different times this happened where I had somebody, including myself, 2 other people, and myself, where there were cancerous skin cancerous lesions
Mhm.
on parts of the body, like little bumps that popped up, and the dermatologist would say, "You need surgery. That's cancerous." And so I put the X39 during the day and the Alavita at night. And within 3 days, shorter in a couple of the cases, the bump was gone and no surgery was needed. It was
Wow.
quite incredible. I didn't say cancer, did I? No. So
Well, and
no, so these were bumps
yeah, and
and abnormal bumps that showed up on the skin, and they just disappeared. They kind
wow.
of
Which
shrunk
part of the
out.
body? Which part of the body?
Face, shoulder, and back, like top of the, shoulder back area.
And were you wearing the X39 on your neck or your belt? Where were you wearing it?
Right on the bump.
Oh, and then you had the Alavita on at night, or did you
Yep,
wear? Okay.
exactly.
I had a gnarly mole that was kind of getting black on my back, and they say when you get a black mole, it's dangerous. You have to be careful. And I don't ever see back there, and I happened to be scratching something, and I happened to see it, and I did the same thing. Now we have the amazing patch called the Alavita, and that comes with a skincare line. So if you don't know about it, you do need to know about it. It's amazing, and it's one of the best bargains. Somebody was talking about that recently on a podcast about how you get two sleeves of the Alavita patch for you. So 60 days to wear this for your skin. And then you get there's a night cream, a day cream, and then you get there's a wrinkle cream. You buy that separately. But they were talking about how long you get to use these patches. And I give them away. I give them as gifts a lot because, I use them. But when you buy a kit, and I do the skincare all the time, I end up getting probably the most Alavita patches. And then we learned from Larry, our other amazing patch expert. On his coaching the other night, talked about the Alavita helps support the pineal gland at nighttime. I don't know if you guys knew that. And I happen to wear it on the crown. I wear patches on the crown of my head, which is affecting your hypothalamus and your pineal glands, which is they're your master organs that tell your body, particularly your thyroid, to be healthy. And I was wearing it up there all these years and didn't realize that was supportive of brain health. And so I do Alavita, I wear carnosine, I wear Eon at times, depending on what's going on in my life. But the most important thing is that it's so critical to be able to use these patches to support all of these things in our body. And we don't say that we're treating, curing, or preventing any disease or disorder. I forgot to say that earlier on. We are not doctors here, except Glenn, are you a doctor you said you're a
No,
therapist? You're a
no.
therapist. Okay. So none of us are doctors here. So we're all just talking about symptom relief. And when Kristen was talking about pre-cancer skin lesions or skin issues that are on our body, they're usually the reason they say that a lot is because they can turn into that. And if you biopsy them or you do, I've had to have Mohs surgery for a couple of lesions on me, spots. But it really is impressive how sometimes you don't even need to. That mole completely dissipated, calmed it down, and it's now perfectly fine. And I didn't have to go see anybody.
I understand how that works. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's quite interesting. And to tell you the truth, I had that little bump here, and they had biopsied it in the office and said, you need to have that surgically removed. You need Mohs surgery. And
Mhm.
so when I did this afterwards, I went home and I said, I'm going to try the patches on it and see what I can do. And like I said, within 3 days, in fact, small rice-like kernel of something came out on one of the patches one day. And I thought, and it was
Wow.
another month until the surgery was going to happen. And I thought, that's interesting. And I didn't have the peace of mind to take a picture of it, which would have been very interesting. But when I went in, I didn't trust that I wouldn't need that surgery.
Hmm.
I went in, I had it done, and they found nothing.
Wow.
So that
Oh
was
my goodness.
quite impressive. And if that were to happen again, I would trust just the patches.
And was that Alavita
That
again?
was the Alavita and the X39.
Okay. So you'd wear X39 on your on the spot
Right on the spot.
combination? Are you stacking them or just putting them
The
around it?
X39 in the day
Hmm.
and the Alavita at night.
Okay. Oh, all right. Well, you're very fortunate. That's amazing. I usually end up putting it on this point of the area and getting better results for that for myself. So you got to play with the patches, everybody. You use them in different parts of the body. We definitely have those one patch wonders that they just wear it on those two meridians, the neck or the belly, and they get amazing results. Well, thank you,
Exactly.
Kristen. That's really good news about for skin, especially.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is really good. Glenn, did you have anything else? Anybody you wanted?
I,
Let's talk
I
about your
can.
wife. Your wife's testimonies.
Or yours.
Well,
Oh
first,
no, it's not about your
first,
wife.
first I'd like to tell you that I use the Alavita many nights, either here or on my temple,
Mhm.
and I would guess that it stimulates the pineal gland, but it really also helps with sleep
Yeah.
and much more vivid dreams.
Ah,
So So I think it's a really cool patch to experiment with. And Eon is a really good patch to put on any point of pain. So when we're starting someone on patches and they want to learn about it and we're going to sample them with an X39, I often like to give them an Eon too, X39 behind the neck. And I just say, put the Eon on any point of pain, which is usually an elbow or a
Yes.
knee or a shoulder or anywhere. And get very good results from people. People are quite impressed with that. And one of Jackie's stories was she's very sensitive to, we're intense gardeners and we're out in the garden all the time. And it must be her blood type because every insect and bug and critter and animal
She's
love her.
tasty.
How old is
Mhm.
she?
Jackie's going to be 78 later this month. And it is an amazing help. And so what I wanted to say was uh, she'll get a good welt with a bee sting,
Mhm. Oh.
and it's so we experimented with ice wave
Hmm.
and put the ice wave patch right on the bee sting and the white patch, the brown one right on the sting and the white one somewhere right next to it or around it. It wasn't that significant for her. And instant pain goes
I
away.
know. Isn't it amazing? I love it. I love Ice Wave. Oh my God.
And I have had the same results with a friend came over one day, never had used the patches at all, and she's sitting right at our kitchen table, and she says, "Oh my goodness, I need to go to my car and get my medicine. I'm feeling this migraine coming on." And she has her emergency medical kit in the car, and I
Mm.
just said, "Hey, would you like a patch? Like to try a patch with it?" And we did the same thing with Ice Wave.
Hmm.
And literally within 15 to 30 seconds, I just saw her jaw drop and she said, oh, it's going away. I mean, she was
Wow.
blown away. This is a chronic migraine problem. And so she ended up getting into the patches and
Well,
has
you have to
enjoyed
tell
it.
me where she put that because I'm a migraine sufferer, and when you said migraines, I kind of did this. Oh my God, I got to tell you something because I had something I wanted to mention about that, about headaches. But where did you put them? The Ice Wave.
Where did
Do
we
you
put them?
remember?
I think
It was
yeah.
right here, and then I think you also put an Eon right down below. Maybe it was shoulders. I don't
Yes.
know the point.
I would
Right
need to
here,
let me. I will
right
check
here.
Suzanne. I will check with Susan. That's the name of the woman. She's a
Okay.
friend of mine, and find out exactly how she's using the patches for migraines. The other thing that's interesting with migraines
Hmm.
is my brother Kenny lives in Seattle. Uh, hadn't seen him for a couple of years because of COVID,
Hmm.
and of and I'm sure a lot of people listening in know how brothers and sisters can be. The last thing they want to do is take your advice if you're a brother or sister.
How old is
So,
he?
so he's 5 years younger than me. And I've been telling him about the amazing benefits I've gotten from lower back,
Hmm.
shoulder, and knees from years of tennis and all the torque with tennis and the shoulder stuff. And he was having a similar thing, and of course wasn't interested in the patches until he saw Jackie and I after it was probably 2.5 years.
Hmm.
Hadn't seen us at all, and we're looking really good and healthy. No medication, no Advil, no nothing, right? And he's got his turkey neck, and he looks 5 years older, and he's 5 years younger. And he saw us, and and he and his wife Lori decided to give the patches a try. And he's been using them ever since for several years now and loves them.
Uh-huh.
But one of the interesting things is because everyone wants it for their presenting problem,
Yes.
whatever that is.
Yes. Hmm.
And but one of the things that he noticed just from using the X39 was he's not getting any more migraines.
And I did. So yes, Nikki can attest to that. We'll get her on here. I've interviewed her before, and she talks about she had migraines all of her life as a young girl, cried herself to sleep, and she's been with Lifewave for 13, 14, maybe 15 years now. She's been with that company for a long time, but she doesn't get them anymore. But if you're finished with your story, I was just going to tell you what I do for people that do suffer in case the ice wave doesn't do it for you or one location. But I'm so happy for her. Does she continue using them for her headaches? Does she get any headaches anymore? Is she a patch user now?
I think she's completely free. She loves
She's
it.
been a brand partner now since then for at
Amazing.
least 2 or 3 years now.
Because we do know that the over-the-counter medications, and which I was a user of for decades, wrecked my gut. And so I do talk a lot about it, wrecks your gut, wrecks your brain, and how harmful it is. But I just want to share that I'm so excited that I now know what to do when I get a headache. So I would get them and I would use the patches and it would help a little bit. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it didn't. Now I've got the plan down. And I just want to mention that I discovered it's my kidney. So maybe we can segue into the water because kidney needs hydration, and your kidneys are your master organ for filtering things out, and that's why the water is so important. And we'll talk about how the water machine works in a second here.
Here's the water
The
machine
water
for
machine
me to
sitting
see.
right
So
there. We're giving it a
it's
pat there. But what I did is there's a new protocol that came out that our team shares about, and I wear the patches. I put them on the temples. I'll put ice wave. It's ice wave, which is a tan patch or a white patch, depending on if what is working or not. I put the tan. You put the tan normally on the left, white on the right. So you've got it on your temples, and then you put it when you're talking about your neck. I actually have it down. You can see I have one here. I don't know. Can y'all see that?
Yeah, we
yeah,
can see it.
yeah.
Barely. Okay. So I put it there because now I'm trying to wear it on the locations when I feel like I might get a headache or I know that I'm kind of sleep deprived or water deprived. So back here. And then the third place is on your inside of your calves, on your inside of your leg, and it's 4 fingers up from the bone of your ankle. And that happens to be a kidney location. And I started patching there with Ice Wave and it wasn't working. So I switched it out with Energy. And the energy patches is causing some movement because the energy patches are, I mean, all of these patches are like acupuncture. They're acupuncture points and it's helping move stuck energy. Well, I needed it on that location and now it's stopping it. And so how I know that is I got a headache recently and I thought, well, I'm going to throw on, I didn't have the energy on me. I was out and about. So I'm going to throw on X39 and 49 and I'm going to put them there. So I took them off my neck, off my belly, stuck them off my area, didn't do it. So I got home, took them off and put the energy on and stopped it right away. So that was even like an hour later. So it goes to show with these patches how everybody's different and every body is different. And so some people can just do what your friend did, where he was able to put, or she was able, you're able to put on the shoulders because there's different locations you can try them. So I've tried many over the years, and I'm going to tell you now this works. So FYI. And then I wanted to also mention that your kidney processes 50 gallons. I have this great little kidney chart here of all of our different organs. And I did a cleanse over the summer last August. And these were these wonderful charts that I bought from the lady that I did this colon cleanse. And she's talking about the kidney is the mother of all organs. And you process 50 gallons of fluid every day through your organs. So that's a lot of fluid. And think if you're not drinking, you're not hydrating. So we're going to talk about how important it is because the kidney is the final filtration of your heart via your aorta. So it's really important for your heart to have all this good hydration. And it's about the diameter. Your aorta is the diameter of a garden hose. So it's pretty big. And she's talking about there's different times that the kidneys do their detoxing. And it was just really interesting that when you don't have your kidney in good shape, this is when you're judgmental and you're critical of everybody. Do you know how there's some people that aren't judgmental and they're not critical and they just have like this great attitude? Well, they have healthy kidneys. And she's talking about how important it is for, kidney dialysis, how dangerous it is. And she calls it the house of the living dead. And the reason I wanted to mention this is because can you imagine what this water machine is going to be doing for your kidney and your kidneys?
Well, yes, the water machine is quite phenomenal. So we've been using it for a week now.
Oh,
We got it. We received it about a week ago, and we are quite astounded with it, to say the least.
okay.
And just to back up just a touch, we saw these patches as frequency medicine.
Mm-hmm.
They elevate frequencies, and we're quite sure of that. And we've experienced that in different ways besides healing and the different healings that we've talked about. We have many, many stories, but we've seen it as also enhancing our frequency, consciousness, awareness, focus, proximity to source, God, the divine. That's how we've seen it. And if that weren't enough, this water is even enhancing that more. I don't know if you're aware of the different frequencies that different disease states are known to vibrate at. Have you heard of that?
I have. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'd like to run over just a few of those because David Schmidt has mentioned that, well, we know this has 6 frequencies of light put into it.
Okay.
And those frequencies come into our cells. They're delivered into us when we drink it. He hasn't totally mentioned exactly which frequencies. However, he has mentioned and touched on the possibilities of a few. And I just want to put in your head and all the listeners' heads the possibilities that we might experience by drinking this with these different frequencies that I'm going to just run through really quick.
Good.
So 174 hertz should affect pain relief and grounding. 285 hertz should affect chronic pain and tension. 396 hertz is known to affect tissue regeneration and injured tissues. 417 hertz should help release fear, guilt, anxiety, and trauma-related illness. And some that he's come close to mentioning are 528 hertz, which is probably the most famous, and that facilitates energy and releases emotional blockages. 639 hertz, he's also mentioned. It's known for DNA repair, transformation, general healing, and immune issues. 741 hertz is known to affect relationships, emotional stress, and general harmony. 852 hertz, and I'm almost done, helps with detoxification and cell cleansing. And 963 hertz, and he sort of mentioned those in the range of 5 to 9, just want to say. 963 is known to affect spiritual order, intuition, mental clarity, oneness, pineal activation, and spiritual awakening. So those are pretty cool. And when we talk about what we're experiencing with this water, I think we're just going to scratch the surface of what we've gotten so far and where it's going. But for for each of us, we have had, and the people we've given it to, we just have some amazing reports. Go for it.
Amazing.
Well, after drinking just a couple of glasses of water, I was excited as when I first started the X39 patches because I immediately noticed more energy, more calmness as well. So energy and calmness, mental clarity.
Wow.
Exercise recovery quicker, just more energy. I was telling a friend, I feel like a Mighty Mouse. Remember the Mighty Mouse? I just feel like a Mighty Mouse. And it's just amazing to to be 75 and to notice regeneration happening in our bodies. It's completely different than the program we've been taught. The program is, oh, you get older and it's a slow degrading process. And we've all learned that. That's why when I first started the patches at 67 or so, and I had my quad problem in my leg, I thought, oh, well, I'm lucky to still be able to play and this and that. And, count your blessings and all that, and to actually feel my body regenerating. And when I
Mhm.
finally got to the X49 patch and put that on, I could feel within just a few days, I could feel my muscles like I was 20,
Amazing.
just
Hmm.
growing and strengthening. So it the water is really cool because it supplements the patches. To put the cellar Jais, I've been using the
Oh my
cellar Jais
goodness.
for about a year, and I've noticed an upgrade just using the cellar Jais with our well water, and it enhancing the benefits of the patches.
Hmm.
And now drinking the cellar Jais with this water,
Hmm.
it's just another level of
So you're not
function.
mixing, okay, so the folks that don't know what we're talking about with Celergize, this is like the water machine is David's third amazing product that he's introduced. Obviously, we had the patches. Then he came out with the supplement line called Celergize Day powders and Celergize Evening. And they were a result of David getting asked for decades, what supplements do we use? Because when he talks about how to use the patches, he'll say, like, for instance, people who are vegetarians, they're not getting adequate carnosine in their diet because carnosine is the main thing that you get. It's the main protein that's in animals. And so carnosine is what you get when you eat animal products. And if you're not eating animal products, he would say, for instance, you need to take a carnosine supplement, and then you use the carnosine and to help support it. And so the important part about his supplement line is he targeted these powders so that you don't need 5 or 6 or 7 different supplements now. You can just drink it. And that's what I loved about the powders. I have to say, when he said he was introducing a supplement, I was not happy. I was like, oh no, don't tell me you're going into a supplement industry because we're inundated with that. And I was happy to hear that it was a powder because it gets into the bloodstream faster. And you're right. You take it in the morning before you start your day, and then at nighttime about an hour before you go to bed if you're using the powders. And I'm noticing incredible energy with both. So can you imagine with the water that's
Just
going to
wait.
be, yeah. And the thing about the water that people don't understand, okay, so it's like, what is this machine? Okay, there's lots of water machines out there. This is not a filtration watering system. This is a uniquely different system. Now, okay, there you go. Now on the right side, there's a filter on the right side and a filter on the left, right?
So yeah, can you
Right,
see it
left, yeah.
okay?
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. The light came
Okay.
on. Oh, how sweet.
So the
Yeah.
light comes on, you take the glass away and it goes off. So when it's ready to dispense, it says dispense. And you just push a little button and there you have 15 ounces that comes out. There are filters over here and here's the water tank.
Okay, so the two filters are on the right side by Glen. And what's interesting about that, you guys, I mean, this is huge. He's got a filtration system that takes out all of the incredible toxins that are in our water, including plastic. I mean, that is huge that it's actually filtrating out plastics. And then he's got, like, it's all the typical things that we buy, I mean, that we use our water filtration systems for that are mediocre in quality. And then the other part of the filter is helping. So there's a filter in there that I think supports more of, oh, you going to fill that up?
Sorry.
Oh, you can fill that. He's going to fill up his little water bottle there. Yeah.
So the machine will produce two 15-ounce glasses every 40 minutes. So
Okay.
we're gonna get the second one here, and we keep them in glass.
Mm-hmm.
Dark
Yeah.
glass is even better. Um,
And we bought this to store it in, which comes in a nice little case so that if we need to pump off a little early, we just put it back in its case and you cover up the light from it so it doesn't get light.
So we've been using the water now for 4 or 5 days, and I've been coming to Vancouver to Kristen's house every other day to resupply myself with water. So a lot of the water that I'm using, I'll get a glass fresh when I come here, and it's really charged.
Yeah.
And then I may be drinking a second glass at home 12 hours later that we kept covered and protected. And I think it's got a lot of juice left in it because I can feel it.
Yeah,
And
because David does say that, I mean, I'd heard different things about it, so you guys can share how you're using it. But first of all, it takes 45 minutes to inoculate the water, right? So you're going to
Right,
get two
right.
8-ounce glasses so that if you're a couple, you each get to have one, then it takes another 45 minutes. And what I had heard was that it's really all you need for the day. So for most of you listening, you're not going to have to be drinking this throughout the day. You're still going to drink your regular filtered water that you have in your home. And but this is really more like a medicinal quality that you take right away. And what's so beautiful about it is that, and he even said that he didn't want it sitting around. It's not like you fill your water bottle up and you carry it around, but you're having luck with it and you're doing it the way you have and you still feel good when you do it. That's great.
Well, we only have one machine in two households and we live
So
a
you're
half
having to do
hour
that.
apart.
Yeah, so you're having to do that. All right.
And
Well, you're going to have to report back. So if you're having great results with it, then that's
we did
amazing.
an arm wrestle as to where it would go.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you have to take turns. But the other thing was the molecules, you guys. This is what I learned a couple of years ago on a 2021 summit that I did. I had an expert on, and he talks about the water molecules are what is so critical. So when you have gunk and junk in your water, the molecule of the water gets overburdened. Just imagine it's the same thing as your cells, they get polluted. And so then the water molecule is so big that it can't get into your cell, it can't get into the cells to hydrate it. And that's why sometimes you notice how many of us will drink water, drink water, drink water, and we're not getting hydrated or we're still thirsty. So what he's done is he's created the water is set up so that the molecule is the exact size needed to get into the cell. And so this is why people are having that rejuvenated, energetic. April might want to come on in a second. She said she had a certain feeling after she had taken it and or drank it, and that this was is why because you're getting hydrated much quicker. And so it's like the instead of the water running off of the cell and just bypassing it and then you urinate it, because think about it. If you are drinking a lot of water and you're peeing all the time, you're not holding the water in. It used to be that, oh yeah, no, you need to pee. That's detoxing. But not as soon as I'm one of those who drinks the water and then I've got to go pee in 15, 20 minutes. So we know that it's flushing through me much too quick. And that's why my kidneys get dehydrated. So see, there's a correlation. I can't wait to get the machine and try that and see if I can get those headaches to just, kick them to the curb. So,
So I want to share with you our experience in sharing glasses of water with other people.
mhm.
Um, Two people are Kristen's parents, both in their 80s,
84 and 86.
and
Very active already. They
Great.
play 10 to 15 hours of pickleball a week. They
Oh,
garden. They travel the world. They're very active. They both still work. However, they're getting more and more tired these days.
okay.
And they've been drinking the water, as we have since we got the machine, every day. And while some diastolic systolic numbers have changed, we need to still figure out the how much to drink to make those stay steady. They've
Uh-huh.
changed after drinking the water, but their energy, they say, and they are complete skeptics of anything that's non-pharma that I bring their way. They say, even if this does nothing else, we love the energy. And so something is happening with them, and they are just loving this.
Are they wearing the
and you can
patches?
and you pardon
Sorry,
me.
sorry, dear.
Occasionally, they wear the patches, but not regularly because they
Okay.
they have
They always
dissonance. They can't quite wrap their head around that the patches would ever do anything, though they have helped them on different occasions.
Every person we've shared it with
Mhm.
notices the energy
Mhm.
and the good feeling and the desire for more. They want another glass. And
Well,
so
mm,
I started with David's recommendation about having a glass in the morning
yeah.
and just sort of seeing what that was like. A little nervous that I didn't want to have a glass late in the afternoon and not sleep. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
like not sleeping. And what I have found is that I'm having 2 to 3 glasses a day now, and I think that's where I'll stay
I
at.
love it.
You
All
know,
right. Well,
at
we
8 in the morning, another one at 11, and then maybe another one at 1:30, 2 o'clock, and that's when it's
and
just wonderful.
you're actually using the water that you have saved. You've got enough and you've taken it back to your house. So it's proving that it's working even though it is sitting there for a while.
And I'm drinking both right out of the machine because whenever I come to get it,
Yes.
I'm gonna have a glass right here, and then I'll
Okay.
have another glass later in the day, and then I'll have another glass the next morning.
Oh my goodness, we're not going to be able to keep you. You're going to get in trouble with all this energy.
And so we're so excited about it. And what I want to share with people, other people that are listening to this, that are also sharing patches,
Mhm.
is that I'm really going to be wanting to share this water machine. Everyone's saying share X39 first, and I'm very happy to do that with people, and I will do that with people. But giving anybody a glass of this water, they're going to notice it immediately. And I, just as David said, within 15 seconds, all the science and the testing,
Proves it.
urine blood or whatever testing he's done, it's all showing up 100% in everybody. And that's what we've seen in sharing it with people, even people that are typically resistant to,
Out of touch with their bodies.
right.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. The other thing that's interesting for those watching that are brand partners and or patch users, and you want to share this, I think you're going to have really good luck with people wanting to buy the water machine over the patches because people can relate to our water being so polluted. And David saw the writing on the wall. That's what I love about him. He's a forward thinker. He already knows, he sees things coming down the pipeline because he's got energy. He's working on an energy product for us. He's already thinking about these things. That's what I love about David. He's looking for out for himself, and he's looking at, well, what am I going to need in the future? And he's in, so amazing as a just technology expert. This is what's so incredible about this water, you guys. It's not like your water machine. So let's say you've got there's so many water machines out there. They're all some of them have been debunked, especially the alkaline waters. But let's say you're drinking those daily. That's something you're drinking all day long. Don't worry, that's still going to be applicable, especially if your local city water is not good. But this is unique in that you hear what, the conversation right now is that you can drink it several times throughout the day, but really you only need one glass in the morning. This is how David's promoting it. And so you think about that as being like an extra nutritional boost, but it's helping those cells. And then when you're drinking the water throughout the day, you're getting those benefits. So I want people, I have had a lot of people say, why do we need another water machine? I already have one. So this is something to, that this is more like a nutritional, how do we say it? It's water with nutrition in it. And that's I can't remember right offhand, you guys, but that other filter that's in there is infused with all of the light, the energy. It's got some extra oomph in it that's going to be adding to the water. So you've got the filtration that takes all the gunk out, the microplastics. It's got, it's all kinds of metals, and it's got virus protection. Anything that's in our water that is so polluted right now, it's really bad what we're getting in our water because so many people are taking medications. So all that
And then,
medication is now getting in the water.
and the second filter puts hydrogen
That's it.
and light frequencies into the water. And it's the hydrogen and the light frequencies that go into our cells, which is remarkable. It's
Oh,
quantum. And it's really important to share with people that several people can benefit from a machine. So friends can buy it together and
I
share it.
love it. Yeah, because it is
Roommates can buy
an
it. It
investment.
can support a family of 5 or 6 or 7 fairly easily.
I love the way y'all are doing it too, so that you can try it firsthand and see. Kristen, you mentioned that David's been talking about some of the other benefits. Did you want to mention a minute, because you seem to know a little bit more about the fact that there's going to be some special additions that will come with this, and we don't need a whole new machine. We get to just add it to it. Do you know much about that?
Excuse me. So I understand that David is planning to, he's made this machine so that he can add different parts to it, or maybe interchange or exchange parts
Yeah.
that I believe are meant to deliver certain frequencies to certain parts of the body that may be ailing. So, for instance, this is my understanding, and I could have gotten it wrong.
Doing
But
good.
if you say have a spleen issue, perhaps we'll be able to press the button and deliver the proper frequency for spleen issues. So that's there's a pie in the sky,
I love
and
it.
let's pray for that. Yeah, and I just want to say I want to add one thing about the detox potential of this machine, because it must be affecting the detoxification, which is again 852 hertz. It must be affecting that because some people who really need to detox, we understand, can have some trouble with this water when they first start. So they should go slowly.
Uh,
And if they're eating really healthy and if they're doing all the right things and if they're not needing to detox, then a glass of water should be just fine, a perfect starting place. But people can always build up to higher levels and then it would help with that detoxification process.
Wow. Well, and what Kristen was just saying about the targeting certain organs or targeting certain parts of the body, that's where his technology of this light and targeting these spots in our body. And when we're drinking the water, we're actually getting this light. Imagine just like it's lighting you up from the inside. It's a new way of looking at how our internal organs and our internal mechanisms are so critical. And he's talking about how that can target an area. And that's what's so great. I mean, he hasn't really discussed in a lot of detail about that yet, but he's been talking about the brilliance of it and helping people that have a lot of the conditions. We are supporting symptoms again. We're not curing, preventing, or any of those things. We're not doctors. We're not saying that, but the symptom relief is what he's all about. And that's what we're all saying here. You know, I got a headache. I don't have to go pop a pill anymore. I don't have to go and harm my body or suffer in silence. I now can put things on me. And this is what I love so much about what David's doing for all of us. I love, love, love that we have this alternative. And that's really what we all are talking about here with this product is um, you're just self-sufficient. And isn't that what we all want? Because you go to the doctor nowadays, they have 8 minutes with a patient nowadays. And I actually, I don't know if y'all follow the Maha movement, and there's a gentleman that he does a lot of consulting with RFK Jr. on all of the health and wellness. His name is Casey Means. He was talking about how he is so excited about the fact that doctors are now when they come in, when a client goes in or a patient comes in, they ask about root causes. Well, they say, doctor, is there a possibility that there's a root cause to this? And the doctors are like going, what? And they're saying, is there a possibility that my diet's affecting some of my conditions? And they're like, what? And he had a doctor friend who came to him and was pretty upset and said, this was an article that was in the Maha newsletter. And he said that she was mad at him because she said, I cannot believe the can of worms you've opened because now we have all these people coming in and questioning everything now. And he says, what are you talking about? You should be thrilled. He said, no. She said, no, somebody would come in and they have like psoriasis and we'd look it over and then we'd write them a prescript and in less than 8 minutes, they're out the door. And he says, well, that's not good. And he says, yeah. She says, yeah, because I'm now having to spend 16 minutes with them. I mean, the amount of time they spend with some of these chronic issues is ridiculous. And it's just kind of interesting that the doctors of yesteryear were really dealing with acute issues, you guys. They weren't there to deal with all of our dietary and nutrition issues. So I do respect that they're overwhelmed with all of our health conditions, but they're not doing anybody any service by writing a prescription and sending them on their way. And so now we don't need to worry about that. Most of us with Lifewave, how many times do y'all have to go to the doctor now and deal with things that you normally would have that are chronic issues? It's very different than acute issues, and we respect our doctors for what they're there for. With the water machine again, is it pretty heavy moving around? I mean, placing, does it need to be on something?
It's about 40 pounds.
Okay,
Yeah.
so okay, and you've got it on a little wicker table, so it seems to be doing okay, right?
Well, it can be on a
It's doing
counter.
just fine.
Yeah, it doesn't, you pour the water in, so it doesn't need a plumbing. It just
Okay.
needs electricity. It can be anywhere.
Oh, let's just talk really. We are at the top of the hour. We've still got everybody here. One of the important things is David did say that it's better to use. Okay, so y'all say you have a Gangan water system or you have any of these purification water systems. Those are better to put into the machine because then the water machine doesn't have to work so hard to get all the gunk out of your city water. Now, are y'all using filtered water or using city water, or do you?
So we're on well water.
So you're
very, very clear well water, and
good.
that's fine. The documents that come with the machine list what kind of water you can use, and you can pour it straight out of the tap, or yes, of course, you can use the Kangen water.
It does. Why don't you talk a minute? We do have filters. It has to be replaced. How often? Do you guys? No?
I think it's about yearly, but I don't know.
Maybe Nikki knows that a little better.
I think it has to do with how dirty your water is. And that was the whole point. If you can put in cleaner, like filtered water to start with, you're gonna extend the life of the filters. Because I know that they're not in a machine like this, they're gonna be a little bit more expensive. Do y'all know what they cost? The
I
filters?
think it's about $100 to replace them.
Okay, so this is something to say, for instance, if anybody was here that is in an area where your water is subpar, that you do want to make sure that you're using some sort of filtered water, especially if your water is not good. And you know that y'all can go to environmentalworkinggroup.org and you can go on. It's a wonderful organization. You need to support them. You can donate, but that's the organization that talks to you guys about that you can go in and put in your product ingredients and see if it's harmful or not. But it's really big on water, and you can go at water health of clean water, and you can go put in. There's a corner up in the right side of the website where you can put in your zip code, I think, and you can find out an area where what your water quality is like, and it'll pull up the information about your water. So it's just good for folks that we cannot say enough about how important water is in staying hydrated. Your cells need hydration. And
Does
so
that, sorry, does that pull up the water quality of wells?
no, because unless it's on a city well or something, because it has to do with the cities
It's
and
usually municipal waters.
municipal waters, and you can test your water. I do have a source for that. It's HRI Labs, and on my summit, we just had John Fagan. He's the founder. He's the one who's testing for glyphosate poisoning. So if April's on here, she's going to come back on and do a testimonial. She got her hair tested. She did a hair analysis, and we're going to have her on and talk about how much glyphosate is in her hair, because that's where it stays the longest. It's like 6 months or longer. But he does water testing as well. But yeah, no, it's a good thing to do to test your water. I just think this machine, no matter what, if you're putting crappy water in there, he said that it's going to benefit. And so that's why he designed it. That's why he created it, because not everybody has good clean water. So congratulations, you guys. I'm so impressed with the fact that you are sharing it with us and that you're having great results, and it's only going to get better. The longer you use it, the more benefits you're going to get, I'm sure.
But the water as it is quite phenomenal. So it's a great start and we're loving
It
it.
only took us 5 days to decide to buy a second machine.
Now, are you taking the second machine so that y'all each
Yeah,
have one?
Jackie and I, yeah, we're getting the second one because we have a lot of people coming into our house. Kristen has a lot of people coming through, and it's so much fun to share it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really, it's, and I think it's almost a lead into the patches.
Oh no, obviously everything we do, everything David does feeds on each other and is supportive. And April,
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
just wanted April, if you want to unmute, you can tell your little story about trying it. And you've had it, what, Kristen, has she had a couple of glasses from you?
She took 2 glasses the other day. I think she drank one.
Yeah, I don't know, April, if you wanted to hop on because she had a really good. There you are. Hi, Hen. Yeah.
Hi.
So what
Yes,
did
this
you
is
experience?
awesome. I first off, let me just say thank you because this is an amazing show tonight. You guys are awesome. Agree with Glen 100% that I had the same reaction. My body reacted the same way as most folks. I felt tingling in my hands and in my feet. I felt almost like the wave, right? I felt the life wave. And that's really what it felt like. I even said it feels like a wave. And then I had taken my mason jar and had my own glass there. And then I brought the other half of it to my son's dad. And so my experience was awesome. I was bebopping along on the way home, an energy lift, and it was sustaining. And then his dad tried the water also, and it said what my experience was, and I'm like, so are you feeling anything? Because he hasn't even been using the patches. He had been using the patches, then stopped. I'm trying to like get him to do it again. He also felt an energy, a lightness, the tingling in the hands and feet, and it was also sustaining. So anyway, I'm very excited about this and look forward to trying some more. So great
Wow,
show
thank you.
tonight. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Hey, and I wanted to mention that with water, again, for those of you guys who have, you struggle with your weight issues and cravings and wanting to eat, this is a common knowledge that when you are hungry all the time or thinking you just ate and you're still hungry or you're always looking for food, go get yourself a glass of water. Y'all have heard that. It's usually you're dehydrated. Can you imagine now with this water machine and we're using it regularly, how that's going to suffice, probably even more so than normal water? Yeah.
And one more thing, just like it's really hopeful because just with those of us that have diagnosis or chronic health conditions and symptoms, for my dad, even he was trying the patches and was getting dehydrated, and so he didn't want to use the patches anymore.
Yeah, the water can help. That's what we were saying, that now I think you can give them the option of starting with the water machine and having the results, and then they may be more open to trying the patches. And so for all of us already using them, we know the benefits. So yeah, no, I think it's great. Everybody needs, you can sell it as a new water filtration system without going into the nitty gritty of what it does, because it is going to be a little surreal for people to say, so I'm getting light infused water. What does that mean? Without really understanding that that's what the patches do anyway. They're reflecting our own inner light, and we are light beings. So that's the interesting thing about it. But yeah, well, any other thoughts here, you guys? This is amazing. I really appreciate you guys sitting here with the water machine, sharing us this. I think it's beautiful. I think it's a really pretty machine, and it doesn't appear to be as over and bulky. I have a place already set up ready for mine. I just hope I can, bring it into California soon.
I think it's 18 by 18 by 14. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm. So 18 wide, 18 high, 14 deep.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because a lot of cabinets, well, kitchen counters are 24 inches deep. Your pantries are like anywhere from 12 to 20 inches, depending on your design of the pantry. But yeah, I have a space for it already. And it's just a simple plug-in, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
And
then
it's quiet and it just purrs as it delivers the water.
Is there any sound right now?
I think every 3 hours it starts re-infiltrating the water, whether or not you're using it. It's ready to go whenever you're ready, as long as it's been 45 minutes from
So you saw us dispense the water.
Right. I love the light coming out.
Now we have 16 minutes and 36 seconds, and then we'll have 2 more glasses.
Can you see that?
Yes, thank you. Okay. Yeah. Well, that was what I was going to ask. Does it beep at you and tell you it's ready, or you just have to know?
It's just there, and it will say dispense when it's ready to go.
And you can certainly put your oven timer on 45 minutes if you want to know exactly when that water's ready again.
Yeah, because if you got a family full of kids or a family, you gotta wait, or you can share, I guess. Is it 8 ounces or 16?
It's 2 15-ounce glasses.
Okay, well that's good. So you could do 2 8-ounce about if somebody wanted to share or just get it in. I'm assuming that you need to drink the whole thing. That's the whole point. That's 15 ounces is what's good for the day.
Yeah, that's what David recommends as a dose. But if you get up at 6:30 or something, then you dispense it, and then put it into a couple of glasses for your kids. It'll sit for 2 or 3 hours just fine. Okay. Completely fine. And then 45 minutes later, you get 2 more glasses out. So,
and it's also room temperature too, because I think
it's room temperature.
It's room temperature.
You don't want it cold.
And it's so silky and smooth to drink. People notice that on the first sip. They go, "Whoa, this is interesting. I've never had water like this."
Well, yeah, it's like drinking. It's almost as if you osmosis water, or the water that's been, what is it called right now?
Structured water.
Structured water, which is, they say, like that's why the rivers and the lakes are so great, or the rivers, because they're on the rocks and they're pounding on the rocks, and that causes it to be structured. That's what causes a lot of the molecular structure of the water to be healthier and cleaner. And
it puts it in a better coherence.
Yes. And again, remember, the molecule of the water is designed, I mean, it's created so that it gets into the cells and it's giving it that hydration that it needs. So everybody, you're going to see your skin look healthier. You're going to see your energy improve. You're going to see symptoms be relieved. I mean, there's so many factors to this.
What you just said is exactly what X39 does.
Exactly.
And this magnifies that benefit.
Yeah, that's what, and within 30 seconds.
It's so exciting. crazy. Yesterday, Kristen and I played early pickleball. So we played 7 o'clock pickleball, and at 6:30 we had our glass of water, and we got on the court, and we play a lot together. We're a mixed doubles team.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
We do. And pickleball, if you don't know it, can be really intense. It starts off
Yep.
on the slow side, but up when you're close to the net, it gets very intense and very fast. And so when things get fast, we as human beings tend to like tense up and lose our mind a little bit, right? And so maybe we get a little less than coordinated than we normally would be. But yesterday when we were playing, we both kind of noticed.
Well, we both had a ton of energy and focus, which is, exactly what you want when you're playing a sport.
And just peace of mind. When we were up on that tight, anxious area right at the kitchen line, we were just calm and patient, and it was really smooth play. And there was one other thing, actually, besides that I wanted to talk about, that I told you the second night I drank this.
Yeah.
I said, oh my goodness, I'm driving for a late night airport pickup, and the windows were open, and it was a warm night, and I thought, wow, I kind of feel like I did when I was 17. And I told you this, like the wind in my hair, and I thought, like, the world is wide open. I just felt good. And that doesn't happen, right? At this age. It just doesn't happen. And I felt like it was wide open. Like the world is our oyster. And then I relayed that to my 84-year-old mother, and she said, I had the same experience. What?
Aw, I'm so sorry. My dad's not here to enjoy this. And he hated drinking water. He had a kidney issue too. It lived to be 101. So he did pretty well, but he did not like to drink water. It was not something that, the way we're walking around with water bottles all the time and we're always drinking and hydrating. And so it was interesting that I don't have him. He was a user of the patches, but so I was glad he got to experience that. And you know what? It just dawned on me, instead of getting up and stumbling to the coffee machine in the morning, you're now going to the water machine. Can you think of how much healthier that is than caffeine? Because caffeine dehydrates you. So for every glass of caffeine, for every cup of coffee that you guys drink out there, you're supposed to drink 2 glasses of clean water. And most of us do not. Some people drink coffee all day long. So think about that from the ramifications of what that's doing to your cells, because they're just polluted. First of all, they're polluted by all the pollutions, and then they're dehydrated. So, you don't have a healthy cell. You're not going to be well. And this is what the Lifewave's all about. It goes right to cell health. The patches are about cell health. The water's about cell health. The Cellergize is about cell health.
So yesterday we had some people doing some work on our house, the workers, and of course I can't resist not offering them some water.
Yes.
So I offered them the water, and the next day they came back to continue working, and that's exactly what Tanya said. Was that I didn't feel like having a cup of coffee. And she was also into the caffeine drinks. She says, I didn't need the caffeine drink. So
yeah, there you go. And I think caffeine heightens, by the way, you guys, caffeine heightens your nervous system. A chiropractor told me when I'd go in and I'd have caffeine, she said, I can feel it. Your body's so tense and tight in your muscles because did you have caffeine today? And I'm like, because she's like, I can feel it in you for adjusting you. So that's also messing up our system for flexibility and for range of motion and also a lot of our pain. And caffeine does have its benefits. Just drink it organic because it's full of mold. You got to be really careful. And so I think this is great. I gave up caffeine back when I did that colon cleanse, and I have never felt better. I mean, at least now when I know I'm tired, I don't go reach for something. I need to take a nap, or I need to go for a walk, or I need better sleep. So when you're doing caffeine all the time, you don't realize that you're artificially stimulating yourself, and you know what it feels like. And I was just saying how I wished I was like Martha Stewart, who claimed she only slept for 4 hours. And I'm like, I can't. I think if I had 24 hours, I'd still not have enough time. But maybe this is going to change it for me. I think I still need to be sleeping on my 8 hours, but yeah. How are y'all sleeping, by the way? Any notice that that is just you are always sleeping well, so this is not impacted, or do you think it's helping that too?
I haven't noticed anything
Sleep.
different. I'm feeling more comfortable having a glass in the afternoon because I'm not getting the reaction that David said some people will get, which is not being able to get to sleep. But I wouldn't recommend someone drink the water after 4 or 5 o'clock though,
Well,
because
and
it,
you're also athletic. And so when you don't forget when you're exercising, you're sweating, so you do need to drink more. So I do think that that's probably why it's working for you guys because you are pickleballers and you're athletic and you're out there and you're sweating and you're doing what you're supposed to do. So you do need more water. So it's probably working wonders for you. So well, I think it depends on the body and depends on the health of your cells. And I think that's going to be the determining factor. But really great conversation with you guys. I really appreciate it. I just would love to keep this, let's check back in 6 months and see what
Yeah.
everybody's doing, or even three
well,
months.
thank you, Suzanne. It's been really fun chatting with you and sharing this. And
You're welcome.
Thanks for having us on.
Hey,
Good
it's
conversation.
the timing was perfect. This is what I love about the divine order. We've been trying to get you guys on for quite a while now, and you did not have the machine. It's an investment like all the other water machines out there, but it is, what did you say, Kristen?
Yeah, it's in the same price range as say the water treatment machines that exist on the market, but there's nothing like this. It's completely unparalleled and patented technology that David Schmidt is going to hold on to. So
Right.
this is really quite amazing, and I'd say it's a huge value for what we're getting.
how blessed we all are to be associated with this machine that
Mm.
is completely unique technology that is infusing light into our
It's
bodies.
incredible.
It's
For more
it's
self-healing.
remark. I mean,
Yeah.
Emoto, who did all that water research, would be in love with this machine.
Yeah, the fact that David keeps creating things, it just keeps getting better and better. Oh, April, would you please really quickly before we close out about I have a workshop coming up. I did mention it, but April you wanted to say something about the summit that I still have that available for $27. I've got the link in the chat.
And this summit has changed the trajectory of my life and my health. So many aha moments, and it's really something you can keep for life and just keep watching. There's a ton of free gifts, and including working with Dr. Fagan and HRI Labs and to get my
Yes.
glyphosate tested. And there's just so many wonderful opportunities in this summit, and it's such a value at $27. I'm still even going and downloading all my free gifts. Still downloading the free gifts. That's how awesome and amazing how many there are. So I couldn't
Okay.
recommend it enough. It will help you for sure.
Well,
I
and April
recommend.
had an aha moment, you guys, because the summit was called Detox for Longevity, and so all the speakers were talking about our toxic burden loads, but what you do about it. And everybody has their story, their pain to purpose story, including myself. I was suffering in silence until age 47. That's when I figured out I was polluted and what was causing it, environmental toxins. And so, what was interesting about it is that everybody's sharing their stories, but they're also talking about. This went back to our childhood. And April has been, she's got this diagnosis and she's like really been stressing about it and feeling like she's like, there's no hope.
That they, when they did my brain MRI, they show that my brain hasn't been affected. But this one was a big one. So when I first got diagnosed, there was, because they diagnosed with a pulmonologist. So there was some feathering in my lungs. And that was in August of 2024 that I got the diagnosis. I started Lifewave in March of 2025. And I had my another lung function test where they originally saw the feathering. Well, a couple Mondays ago, I had the lung function test, and all of that has been healed. So in
Oh
my
my
lungs,
God.
and the only thing that I'm doing different, Lifewave and my cleaning out my pantry. And so this right here is what can help you change the trajectory of your life.
But the important thing, what I was getting at, April, was that you thought you were broken and didn't know where this was coming from. And the aha moment you got at the summit was that it was childhood, it was it was toxins from your childhood.
That's right.
And
It all started around the same time in the 90s. I lived near Travis Air Force Base, and if you Google it, there's like that it was a toxic waste dump then. And that's when my dad started experiencing his symptoms. Yeah. And that's when I started experiencing symptoms for the first time at 10 years old. And it started there and it started carrying on. Sorry, I think my son's coming back home, but I can't stress it enough that this summit will give you these aha moments. And just, again, it's led me to what is the next step for me so that I can be out of those doctor's offices. And what I really like about going right now is that all the tests that I'm getting are showing that I'm actually I'm healing. And I'm going in the right direction. So,
and these darn doctors don't even ask. They're like, well, keep doing what you're doing. That was a classic. Keep doing what you're doing. Well, don't you want to know? And they're like, no. So it's kind of like the interesting perspective. But thank you for that, dear. I just wanted to mention that the links are in the, I'm going to have the links on all of my show notes once it's posted. And then obviously it's here now that if you want to get the summit, and then the workshop that I'm doing on the 16th, April's going to co-host with me. But she's going to be talking a little bit more about what we did together to get her to this level. In 1 month, in 1 week, she was already feeling extremely better. In 2 weeks, she was rocking it. 3 weeks, she was like really feeling amazing. And I have all the texting from her about, I can't believe how good I'm feeling. So the good news is we're like, can you imagine getting the water machine and drinking that on a daily basis? And Kristen, thank you so much, honey. We can't wait to talk to you and Glen again. Well, and we'll see you next week again. I'm hoping that, I like this time. I like this 6 p.m. We'll see how it works and I'll get feedback. So, all right. Thank you guys. Bye, everybody.